Are you looking for ways to lower your LDL cholesterol on a low-carb diet? I'm Dr. Brett Scher, medical director at dietdoctor.com, and this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. There is this subpopulation of people who get a dramatic rise in their LDL or even a moderate rise of their LDL when following a low-carb diet. And the question is, what do we do about it? And that's such a complicated question. As a certified cardiologist and lipidologist, like I said, this is a topic that is dear to my heart. The first point I always have to make is this is the minority of people. The studies suggest and clinical practice suggests that the majority of the people starting a low-carb diet don't see a significant rise in their LDL. In fact, they usually see benefits to their HDL and triglycerides and their ApoB to A1 ratio and a beneficial effect to their lipid profile. Some, however, are going to see this rise in the LDL. So the first question is that a concern? And that's a topic all on itself that I am not going to get into in this video. But I wrote a guide recently on how to lower LDL cholesterol on a low-carb diet. So if you've made the decision that LDL is something you want to address and you want to continue your low-carb or ketogenic diet, then we have some tips for you on how you can go about doing that. Okay, so that if that applies to you, then this is your guide, and you should definitely check it out at dietdoctor.com. But here are some of the summaries. So the first is make sure you're following the right marker. ApoB or LDLP are much better markers to follow than LDL cholesterol. So if you're following your cholesterol, make sure you're getting those checked. You also want to notice the size and density of your cholesterol, as that can make a difference in terms of how risky, quote unquote, risky it is. This is a superficial, description that I'm giving. You can find a little bit more on the guide. But number one, you've probably heard it before, you can try cutting out excess saturated fats. The butter and the cream in your coffee that maybe you don't need. Adding extra fat to all your meals, maybe you don't need. Stick to the whole foods without the added fats, and some people will see a significant decrease in their LDL just by doing that. Also, swapping out saturated fats for monounsaturated fats. Some find this challenging. It means a lot of oils and nuts and seeds and fish, and less dairy and meat. So for some people, that's not as enjoyable of a diet, but that's one other strategy that can sometimes help lower the LDL cholesterol by keeping you on a ketogenic diet. Make sure you're getting plenty of fiber. Fiber actually does help bind the bile acids and help with reduce overall LDL cholesterol. So that's something, even taking fiber supplements. Time-restricted eating can have a benefit for reducing LDL. There have been studies recently to suggest that. And know your carbohydrate threshold. Do you really need to be in ketosis? Do you need to be below 20 grams of carbohydrates? Or can you, go up to 50 or 100 and still see all the health benefits you've gotten? That's very individualized. So you need to know what your threshold is. But here's the key, and here's what I go into in this guide, is you have to design your N of 1 experiments and kind of know how to best design it. What do you change? How long do you change it for? And what do you follow? These are very important questions that you should define ahead of time. Don't just sort of willy-nilly start changing things and see what happens. You want to carefully design these experiments so you know what's going to have an effect for you for your LDL cholesterol. So again, if you have an elevated LDL cholesterol on a low-carb diet and you've decided that's something you want to lower, this guide can be for you to help you design your experiments how to do that. All right, so check that out at dietdoctor.com. Click subscribe below so you'll get all our video updates. Thanks a lot.